dirty one. We got a charger today in a little bit dirtier of condition. So we're definitely going to tape. But like, look at the back window. See that? I'm not worried about it. It'll take a little extra cleaning. But that's fine. So we're going to start with a few things. Taping seals. And I got to fill up my spray tank. I mean, maybe I could do gel on one of these windows. I think it'd be a pretty good test. Instead of doing the tape. If I were to do one, I just like want to know that it's going to turn out well. So I still like the tape. Let's get chat going. It's been long enough. Slick. What's up? Nope. Let's try one more time. Oops. There we go. It works. Okay. So, let's turn this on. Oh yeah, this is another one where you gotta turn it on frequently. Because with the charger, you don't really have a way to keep the vehicle on. Off. Look at that. Oh yeah. I like chargers. I don't necessarily want to get one every day. But it's been long enough since I've had a charger. So maybe that one. Maybe that one we'll just not tape. And we'll just do the gel. And we'll tape all the other ones. I think I get some fun stuff today too. But I don't have time to set it up. Not really. Oh, let's leave that there. Dun, 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 dun. It's happy now. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it's definitely a high strung. Do a donut. Sure, why not? I distinctly remember, this was at a different shop, a customer who refused to give us a key because he swore that's what we were going to do. He's like, I don't trust you guys. Like, well then why do you want us to work on your car? We need the key. I'm not giving it to you. Well then I guess we're not tinting your car. Well then I guess you're not. And then he left. Okay. Why would you ever go somewhere where you don't trust where you're going? People be silly. This one's gonna take a lot of cleanup though. Window switch. Dun, 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 dun. Yes. Just for windshields, we're going to be doing the full windshield on this. So we will definitely go over shrinking on both the windshield and the back window. This back window is a pretty curvy one. But we're going to get it all cleaned up first. How hard are chargers for beginners? Definitely difficult. Seals are tighter. Like, these kind of pinch, but they're not that bad. And then on the bottom, same thing. They pinch a little bit tighter. So you just don't need to make your patterns very wide. Where I had the most difficulty was typically this back edge right here. But I have Instagel. And I want to do some tests. I don't want to have to take longer than normal. But for the sake of science, this is a dirty, older felt seal. Definitely something I'm always going to tape over. But to see if we use some gel on the edges, are we still going to have a fair amount of like felt bleed back in? I mean, I tinted for a long time without doing any felt on the sides, or without tape on the sides. But I kind of want a comparison. A comparison of something that I'm never going to do. So we are doing carbon 15. We're going to open up the new box. I should hide this one. We're doing 15 on everything and 35 on the windshield. Oh yeah, we gotta set up our spray tank too. I've been to the toilet 4 times in an hour. You might want to get the flip cap done. Okay, we need a spray bottle. Or a spray tank. So let's fill this guy up. How's the inside look? A little bit of buildup. Little bit of buildup. The easiest car you could do. Yeah, no. Looking better. Thank you for the rose. What's really hard are Camry quarter windows, Volkswagens, etc. So Chargers aren't going to be the most difficult vehicle, but they're definitely not the easiest. This back window for the longest time, I would say, was like the most common difficult back window that people would run into. Now I'd probably give it to Tesla, like your Model 3s and your Model Ys. At least for windshields. But VWs and Audis are definitely difficult. What's up, Ligma? What a name. Alright, so we're going to do 3 ounces of soap. If I add it too early, it's just going to cause everything to bubble over. So I'm just going to wait a sec. Let that fill up. We'll use the reels today. What's up, Cartel? How you doing? Hyundais also? Really? What Hyundai? Alright, that's good. So we're going to do 3 ounces of tint slip. That's 1. That's 2. Three. Mercedes? It depends. There's a lot of pretty straightforward Mercedes. Same thing with BMWs now. There's certain ones that are more difficult for sure. But like on the cheaper models, they're actually a lot more straightforward. Do I have enough spray bottles in here? Yo, what's up? I did tint the other day. I left soap residue under the tint because I used too much soap. Maybe. You're always going to have soapy water left behind. It's hard for me to know exactly what you were looking at, though. Because, I'll put it this way. I've tinted with milk for a video, like 2% milk or whole milk or whatever. Straight milk and soap. And the window looked perfectly fine. So that leads me to always think that you're looking at something else. Because you could add a ton of soap and the worst it's going to do is make things slide and not stick. You're usually going to see a soap residue. Smash the like button. If you post a picture, then we know. All right. So we're going to double cut these. Heavy. Chargers are actually one of the more annoying ones to pot the doors. And it's actually not the software's fault. The doors on Chargers varies a lot. Like they're the same windows, but the edges of them are they're always a little different from each other. Quality control issues. Okay, so we put a piece of film on it, liner side facing me right now. We're gonna cut this off, flip this over, overlay this on top, and we're gonna double cut this. It's gonna save some time. Why do my double cuts always come out wrong? I don't know. What are you doing wrong? It could be them sliding away from each other. It could be you're just not anchoring it down to the glass. But if you can cut out one piece of film, then you can cut out two. It's just thicker, so it's a little different to deal with. So we'll start with this front edge because I've got this mirror housing here. I've lined up both pieces of film right on that edge. So I'm going to start with cutting that. And then on both sides, I should have like a nice little like 1/4 inch chunk seal. So I'm just going to slide it over to the edge of that. On chargers, you don't want to make them overly wide. Seals are tighter. The wider you make your patterns, the harder it's going to be to install. So when you shift this back over, so this is what it would look on the inside. If we cut it exact. You can see the white tape. You see a little gap there. So that's why we always got to make our pattern a little bit wider, so then it covers. And we're just going to slide it down a smidge. A lot of people get worried about windows peeling. If you have a good film, and you get everything to lock down on the bottom, you're not going to have a peeling issue. So it's important to cover all your gaps. So obviously we're tucking in there, but I don't have to tuck down here like a foot. So we're using carbon today. This is GeoShield C2 carbon. So I got my mirror in the way. So I'd like to go in this direction, but I'm going to hit this mirror. So instead, I'm going to go up in this direction. Do you like dyed or carbon better? I like ceramic the best. Carbon's a great value option. Carbon versus ceramic versus dyed, it really comes down to your budget and what performance that you care about. So I could have a ceramic and I could have the carbon and I couldn't tell you which is which, just from pure looks. So by spending more money on ceramic doesn't mean that you're getting better looks. You're getting heat performance. If you don't care about that, don't spend the money on it. So this is carbon, so this is going to be our most cost-effective option. He's not losing out on anything except a little extra heat reduction, which I'll add is super nice to have. But like, not everybody cares about that. We're going into winter time. I do use a plotter. I am the plotter. This is just a throwback. I did a lot of these cars. Some days I'll use a plotter, some days I won't. I'm gonna hand cut all these doors. Chargers can also vary a lot on the top edges. So the patterns could be correct, but the way they grind these windows down, some of them just, you cut the pattern out for it and it'll be wildly different one to the next. Does it slow down in the winter? Yeah, it definitely does. It doesn't come to a grinding halt, but you're just like, it's like that throughout the entire year. You'll just have weeks that are super busy and then weeks where it just slows down. So you'll especially see that in, like your January, probably November, August sometimes. Like it just goes up and down. From now to January 15th, it's going to be slow. Depends. You still have your busy weeks. It depends on like the type of stuff that you do ahead of time. So like in comparison to summer, like it's across the board, it's not going to be as busy as like the middle of July. But like lawn care services have snow removal services. You put away some money for the wintertime because you know it's going to be a little bit slower. Are quality squeegees worth the cost? Yes, 100%. There are dog shit squeegees on Amazon. I'm not saying all of them are bad. Just order a variety. But good squeegees, 100% worth it. They glide better. They have better edge. They just it's just a... I'll show you. I actually want to swap this one out. The to get squeegee right now is this one. I'm gonna grab a new one. Ugh. This one right here. Blue Max. This is my favorite for a long time, and it still is one of my favorites. But the Blue Max, it's like $14. Try this one. If you try any nice squeegee, try this one. Don't get it off of Amazon. Buy it from a legit store. Fusion just updated these, and they're super nice. No more Fusion squeegee blade? The Blue Max is actually now a Fusion squeegee blade.
Should we put the notes at the shop, if someone ordered, they can use the notes?
Yeah, if you want to write something on there. On the board? Yeah. But we only have so many to give away of those. So see, new Blue Max by Fusion Tools. See that? Look at that. They bought the Blue Max. They got the rights to it. And it's super nice. Can't wait to get the keg. Kegs are awesome. So they re-released it very recently. Why did you switch out the blade from that one to this one? Oh, because it's starting to wear out. it's starting to show some drag lines and some wear. So the more you use it, the more you abuse them, they'll just start to wear out. You can't just sand them. I mean, you could. I had a vise set up, and I would take my blade and I would just refinish the squeegee blade. I just have to set that back up. Yeah, I've seen some wet sanding too. I just don't have anything set up for it. I'll be honest, I haven't thought about it much. I might look back into doing it. But, you know, I didn't just throw that squeegee blade away. This is what happens with a lot of them. You see all that in there? I usually don't just toss them. I put them away, and then I swear I'm going to do something, and then I just don't always get around to doing it. Do you have employees? Yes, and they're doing all other things except tinting. Is it the best way to protect panels? I mean, it's very quick and convenient. I think it's the best practical thing. All right, so the fun part, installing the charger. We're gonna blade off the window, make sure we got nothing stuck to it. I'm having a hard time closing sales. My prices are fair, but I don't know. Any suggestions? That's the tough thing about tint business. Sometimes you need more at-bats, or you just need to follow up with people more. You can keep a list of everybody that called you and then just follow up with them. I should take some type of formal sales training, but I never have. I'm actually not the best person to ask about it. But I'll tell you, I think we feel that a little bit more now than we used to. Which is why we're running ads and we're just getting more leads. So we have a lot more like at-bats. What is this? Oh, that is the gel. Okay. Cool. So, this is ready to go. Yeah, that was Instagel. We're using it to help keep the edges cleaner. You'll notice I have tape. Tape helps out a bunch. Gel is something newer that we've got, and we're using it on as many things as we can. I don't have that back window taped, so I want to do a comparison between like tape and no tape, but still using the gel in both situations. See, if you don't cut your patterns super wide, I could have cut them wider if I wanted though. You just got to keep the edges flat. Chargers are just one of those, they don't give you a lot of space on the sides. But they're not as annoying as a VW. They're really not. Or I've just done so many of these that you just get used to them. Does Geo send merch when you buy often? You know, they don't really have a system for that. If you let them know that you want something, they're very nice people. But I think they went super hard into it. And then they still definitely send out stuff, but they don't really have any rhyme or reason system for it right now. So it's kind of sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. They've really rebranded here lately, kind of scaling back on the random things. They're definitely going through some growing pains. They've had to hire a lot of people. They've had to implement a lot of new systems, and I know they're working on one of their biggest changes. I don't know the details though. But they're gonna have some type of a tiered system. I had the Zoom meeting with them. Why didn't I get invited to that? What happened? Ask Dylan. I guess I'll have to. I think they forget about me. It explained the tiered system. So they actually like figured everything out and I just have like no clue about it. That's nice. We're their #1 shop in West Texas. I guess that gets you more informed than me. All right. Let's pull the tape. Let's check it out. What would you recommend to find clients starting out? Ugh. Tight. Really tight. There we go. You're on a whole nother level. Yeah, but I didn't get invited, so I guess that don't matter. What do you recommend for finding customers starting out? You just gotta get your local hustle on. You can go to other local businesses, car meets, let friends and family know, have some type of referral system, and then run ads. Ads are kind of becoming, I think, required. In certain areas, they're like especially required, or a good system. Because where there's choice, a new business just isn't going to get noticed. You're new. So there's going to be established people that already have systems, already have clients, already have referrals, and you're butting into their business. New tinner here, what should I charge for ceramic? I don't know where you live. So there isn't some type of just established pricing. I would call around and see what your local market is already doing. Okay. We got little dusts on the outside. Look at that. 2 staging doesn't turn out as clean as bottom loading. My ass. You won't see a buck of nothing in there. Okay, other side. Do we go to the other side or do we stay on this side? I guess let's stay on this side. Let's double cut this one. We just installed something. Let's do something else. How do you shrink on the side? Same rules. Same rules. You could even take that pattern and flip it. And shrink in an orientation that you're used to. But top and bottom of my window is here and here, right? So if I just take that pattern and then I do this to it, right? Let's say I unrolled it this way. So then this is the top and this is the bottom, even though they're on the sides. I'm still going to just peel it up and snap shrink it on that or kick up some fingers on there. The exact same way though. But the only annoying part is when you shrink on the sides of a lot of windows. Like, it makes more sense on trucks and SUVs. This edge is a lot shorter than this edge is. So if you have the extra room, let's flip this around. If you have the extra room, on the sides, then it's not going to matter so much. But I shrunk like Ram door windows on the side, and I ran into a little bit of an issue because it's just not as curved on the side there. And the doors are like way longer than they are tall. Have you tried 3M PPF gel? I have not. The only gel that I've tried so far is Instagel. And there's been plenty of discussions on all the gels. And everybody seems to say everything is fine. If you're using anybody's gel, you'll have good results with it. But it's important to remember that we're not using just straight gel on both the tint and the glass. You're still using your slips. So the gel is just like a jelly barrier that you're just spritzing on the edges. So it really doesn't matter whose or what's that you're using. If it's safe for a PPF install, there's probably going to be no ill effects for window tinting. If it just says, like, this is a PPF installation gel, it's probably fine for window tinting. Instagel says it's good for both. So But I wouldn't sweat it if I had something else. Is making a grand a day as a solo tinter possible? Yes, very possible. It depends on where your price points are, though. So, like, this one, all around with a windshield, is $450. So 2 of those, and I'm close to getting that. But if I'm doing full cars, like, if I'm not doing, let's say I'm just doing all the sides and rear at 2, I have to work a lot faster and a lot harder to get there. Three cars at $350. There you go. Easy. It's very obtainable. Have you misted an entire window with gel instead of... I've definitely misted entire windows with it. I'm going to keep an eye out for one where I would typically torch it. I feel like I've ran into it already, but I don't have a example to tell you for sure. But it should definitely help with it. Because from what I've noticed, there's like a little bit of stick, but once you get it moving, everything seems to slide for longer and doesn't stick near as fast. So that's what I'm hoping too. Is that instead of having to torch a window, we can just mist the whole thing in the gel. That'd be really nice. I never liked the idea of using the torch, but the torch is super convenient. Have you done an A6 before? Yeah, definitely. A4s, A6. The S series is worse. A series is still not the most fun. Why not use a plotter for these windows? I feel like just hand cutting them today. These rear quarters used to really annoy me until I learned a trick from somebody. When you go to hand cut these, so you see this border? We usually cut right to the edge of this border, or like right past. On the inside here though, you've got this space. And so some tinters, they'll cut out these quarters and then there'll be a gap here. But the top edge is super tight. One thing that you can do is you trim this exact, so you make a cut here, make a cut along this rubber all the way around, and then same thing with here. And then you have a perfectly fit quarter window every time. You just stay to the very outside border. I might plotter cut those. I'm gonna plotter cut the rear, I think. So, in case I don't hand cut those. How much do you charge for 4 doors? Like 4-door vehicles or just the doors? It's something like I hardly ever have to quote, because most of the time it's like you talk to them and you're just like, well, I want to do the whole thing. I just want to save some money. Most people don't want to just tint the sides. They want to do everything. I've been using tint slip during installation. I messed up the film twice trying to slide the film. It just pops free and crumples. You're in Dallas? No, I'm not in Dallas. This is Detroit Tint Studio. I think I'm not sure if there's anywhere in the US I can be much farther than Dallas. Alcohol. No, not you, Matt. Well, sorry. Sorry for butting in on your conversation on my stream. Do a flip. I do a flip sometimes. That tape sucks. No, it genuinely doesn't. If this tape doesn't stick to a panel, it's the panel. 100%. Never, it does suck. Never sticks when I use it. What do you use it on? The blue? We use it all the time on stream. It sticks to a lot of stuff. We took the white tape and we made it stronger. Interior cleaners. Yeah, of course it's not gonna stick. Or is that another comment? So it depends on what's on the panel or the panel itself. If you have something like Armor All, a greasy coating, or an older vehicle that's likely to have some type of panel coating, well, that's a repellent. It's literally trying to keep stuff from sticking to it. A lot of door panels are easy to clean up. If you're doing a lot of nicer new vehicles, I generally, like here, around here, we just don't run into that. Older Charger, makes sense. All right, so this is going to be the back door with no tape on the rear seals. Why did you leave a gap? That's a small one though, right? It's just a little gap. He wanted some artistic tint. There's also a little bit of an overlap up top, though. Yes. Okay, where's my gel? Do you have a website where I can schedule a whole car installation? I do. Look up Detroit Tint Studio. You can call us. You can text us. Go to our website. Absolutely. Have you tried the gel on windshield? Yes, and we're going to be using it today on a windshield and the back window. Love it. Love it on the top edges and the sides. We'll be using it forever on any windshield. Wow. That went in there really nice. I like that. Oh, nice. That's on the outside, too. So the idea of this is kind of cool, too. So when you're actually pushing against the gel, it's like pushing stuff out. So the gel could trap some dirt, and it's literally like water will let stuff run back in. Gel will keep stuff from running back in, and then also like push stuff out as you're pushing against it. Seal guard, where you at? It's on the other door. Just doing a little comparison here. This is a fairly dirty car, tighter sealed felt. So I would 100% always tape this. I've taped all the other ones. But I just want to see how this one will turn out. It's not a definitive conclusion, but I'm expecting pretty good results. Because I don't want to have to redo this window. But I'll just reiterate, I've tinted for a long time. I've not used tape for a long time. I've not used gel. These are all sometimes newer things. But anything that can help an install is always better. What do you mix the gel with? Nothing. You can use it straight. You can dilute it a little bit. So they said we could just use it straight. I've tried diluting it a little bit. I don't mind either way right now. Dilute it with tint strip. I think cleanup is a little bit more greasy. I am noticing that. On a dirty cart, it's always hard to show edges because there'll be a lot of little, like, dust things from towels and whatnot. That's super clean. Got like, nope, that's not even dirt. That's fine. And I got a little fold right here. Again, that's normal. We'll touch that up. That turned out super clean. Nice job. Thank you. I'll take it. I didn't do any extra cleaning on the felt. Tinted it like normal. Didn't use tape, just gel. Nice. I would still personally like to have tape as kind of a reassurance, but I mean, I'll keep doing some tests here and there. Really happy with the results on that one though. Very nice. What's this one? Oh, this is carbon 5 from yesterday. Do you scrub the window or you just blade it? I typically just blade them. Scrubbing is great. But I can't feel if something's stuck there with a scrub pad. So that's why I prefer blading. I used Insta-Gel. This is the Jug Insta-Gel. Hey, look, it's you guys. All right, so this is from yesterday. Let's go. Look, we got a list of everything. We did the crew cab, we did a Polaris, we did a Hummer, we did a Durango, we did a Silverado, we did a Taurus. Now we've got a roughly 2020 Dodge Charger. 2011 to 2023, patterns have not changed. This is kind of wild. Holy shit. Really? This has been cut out way less. How has this only been cut out 800 times? A Charger? Really? What am I missing here? Wow. Okay. Interesting. I just figured that number would be like super high. Anyways, let's get a back window. It's probably this one. And then I don't think I can fit my quarter windows on here. Yeah, I gotta do those differently. So we'll just cut out that next. Quarter windows, let's throw on here. Can we copy? Most tinters cut film without machine. I mean, I did do that. I did do that on the doors. So, can I flip this sideways? Oh, look at that. I get a little bit more space if I do it sideways. This is funny. People see me at the machine and they just like, oh, he never hand cuts. And then they see me hand cutting. Oh, you never use a plotter. Why? God damn it, I do both. Any tips for keeping dust particles at a minimum while working out of a home garage? Yeah, anything that keeps breezes down. Home garages are super fine. They're not going to be any worse than tinting here. You can keep it clean. Biggest thing is airflow. But a lot of people blame their environment for their results. Most of your results are from your installation. So if you see a lot of little speckles, that's 100% your installation. This goes on the other side. I get stuff falling from the attic. I mean, if you park a car in there and you let it sit for 20 minutes, is it noticeably more dusty? Like, definitively? Okay, so this is a good... I flipped these sideways so I could fit them on there. It's quarter window. You don't have to shrink it very much, but I still like to do it a little bit. So my roll, the top and bottom of my roll, here. So these patterns were then flipped. So the top and bottom on these ones are then on the sides. So on this one, shrink a quarter window like normal. Ta-da! And this one, I'm doing the same thing, but I'm going to do it on this edge. Ta-da! But I could just orient this way and still snap shrink it. You just pay attention where the top and bottom of the roll are. Yeah, sometimes if I have two doors shrink waiting for install, they will have dust all over them. Then do your best to clean out where you are. Blow out, clean it, deep clean where you are. Get up there, clean out the attic. Whatever your setup is, clean it. Then you can't blame that anymore. I mean, if I had issues specifically caused from something that I knew it was coming from, I would do whatever I could to fix that. So there's, like, if you're outside, there's some things that are going to be absolutely out of your control, like the weather. So that's why I go indoors. But if I could definitively say I had stuff falling all the time from the attic, well, then you like, have to get up and clean your attic. What about the mobile guys that do it in driveways? I mean, they just deal with it. Some of them don't get good results. Some of them learn how to work around the wind, but there isn't necessarily anything in their control that they can fix. Other than getting inside helps. I mean, sometimes we just have life issues. So if I'm trying to paint a car out in somebody's driveway, it's probably not an ideal condition, and there probably aren't very many ways that I can go about fixing that. Where's the gel? It's on every edge on this one. Yeah, most of the time, like, tint issues are installation. But, like, if I got somebody with an air gun next to me and they're blowing all this shit over me, I'm like, hey, I probably have to take care of the air gun situation. It is a charger. I like chargers. I haven't had one in a long time. I never thought I would miss them. I don't want one every day. But chargers were a hot topic for a while. I just don't see them much anymore. What's the gel do? The gel is a barrier, and so it keeps dirt from flushing back in. Ooh, hot topics. Okay, that's like super nice. You get used to seeing certain things like right towards the very edge. You can see like a speck or two sometimes during a regular install. Dude, this is nice. This is like the mixing link I think most tinters were looking for. That's crazy. That's just gonna make so many mild, like that makes an older vehicle then easier to do if you can control that kind of dirt. They're not gonna be fun, but they're gonna be way more straightforward. Because the problem with water is that it runs. So if I spray this, that just runs so fast. But if I can take a gel and look, it just like holds it. So then dirt that would typically feed into my window just gets stopped. And then when I squeegee, all that gel bunches up and then pushes back against the dirt. I really like it. But it definitely greases things up a little bit. Not enough to do anything to the interior that I've noticed. But that all seems to be fine. It's like easy enough to clean up. But the windows are a little extra greasy when I go to clean them. I like it greasy. All right, I grab the other stool. So this is the back window that we're gonna be tinting. You can see how clean. Just how clean this is. Oh, I got some tape there from a plate. Yummy. And we got a fair amount of cleanup to do around the windshield too. A lot of stickers. Just old crap built up. So fresh and so clean. All right, what do we need? So I need a stool. I got a rag. I'm gonna grab a blade and oh no, there's a door cover. Oh yeah, I was gonna alcohol wipe the last of the panels. Let's do that. See how they're like shiny? That means there's something there. And now we'll see. Does this stick better now? Oh, hey, look at that. It sticks fine. I gotta clear out the hose. Are you clean under the carpet? It's not carpet, but why would we need to clean under it? I don't care what goes on under there. Oop, that's the back door. That's the front door. I don't know. We'll probably clean it out when we leave this unit. A couple more years. Do the drapes. You're asking that in a really weird stream. Can you take a blade to any glass? Yep. Blades are a nice way of quickly cleaning glass. Just make sure you spray them. Use a low angle. I mean, if you remove a sticker, what do you use? You use a blade. I mean, maybe don't take it to like a defroster grid. But I like blades better for cleaning up glass. Scrub pads are really nice, but if there's something stuck, I can't feel it with a scrub pad. So sometimes I would get a little piece of glue somewhere, and if I had just used a blade, it would have turned out fine. What about the defrost lines on the back windows? Yeah, maybe don't take a blade to those. But you can absolutely use scrub pads on the back window. So I use clay bars and scrub pads on back windows. But if I see adhesive, I'll use an adhesive remover. You just gotta be thorough. There's usually way more things stuck to, you'll see. There's usually way more things stuck to a door window than there ever is on a back window. Did I spray that? Oh no, I just did the gel. Important stickers on the windshield. That's up to the customer if they want them removed or covered or whatever. Here, there's nothing that we need stuck to a windshield. It's all recreation or parking pass or a car wash. So we have never tinted over anybody's stickers on a windshield, but they also are sensible and don't want them tinted over because ew. But if you have like an inspection, I don't know, you either got to go get a new one, cut around it, or you can sometimes safely remove them and then just leave them on the tint. Any basic household supplies that are great adhesive removers? Not really. Soapy water and razor blades are great. If you can't, if it's on a back window, go get like LA's Totally Awesome from like the dollar store or Home Depot. That's a good adhesive remover. But tint adhesive is really strong. So you could always try ammonia Windex on certain glues. It'll break it down really well, but it's generally like old tint. Please turn the key off. Don't. We needed to roll up the window though. And then I'm gonna forget. We'll close it in a minute. How is I gonna roll the window? Oops. There we go. It's our music for today. Do you go over the dot matrix on a windshield? What about the rearview mirror? Yep. Go over any dot matrix that you can see through. There's a lot of them that you just cut around. All right. Look at that. Look at that edge. Is that the cleanest freaking edge you ever seen? There's going to be a fold somewhere, right? Here. See that? We got to push this area. I'm going to use a little heat, but this area will push out. Ta-da! What about the rear view mirror that doesn't come off? You tint around it. I mean, what kind of car are you asking about? They all come off. Some are harder than others. But like an F-150, you'd have to splice. Other than that, if there's something that's... You got to take them off or tint around them. Or just not tint it. A 13 Civic? Oh, the mirror for sure comes off of that. Look up the video. But yeah, if you can't remove it and you got to tint around it, like then you got to splice. There's no way around that. Will it leave a seam? Mm-hmm. Yep, so it's well worth doing what you need to remove that one. I'd be really surprised if the Civic mirror just doesn't come off. There's always a way. You just don't always see a screw. Some of them just have a little different thing. Look up a video, though. Why the white tape? I mask off the side seals. There's a lot of felt, and it just helps keep everything clean. What? Oh. You put it right here. I was like, what the heck? I know I just bladed the window. Do you shrink pre-cut tint? Yes. All the plotter does is cut out the film. Ooh, do we got some big boxes? Is that UPS? I'm getting a glass board frame today. And I'm getting a couple other rolling stands along with it. So we'll finally have a rolling glass board on this side of the car. But I want to take it a little further. I got that battery bank, so I'm going to mount the battery bank to it. And then I'm going to put a sprayer on it. And then I won't have to walk around a car 500 times or drag hoses. I like it. And then it just slides right in. That's so nice.
You want film? Yeah, just regular carbon. Carbon, and we just match on the back? Okay. Yep. That's a forward edge. Alright. Cool. This is pretty sharp on the side?
I'm gonna hang out more for a little bit. How long do you think? Alright.
Okay, so good. Yep.
Got a good old Lexington Amazon tint kit. Wish me luck. Good luck. What matters more for blocking out heat? If it's ceramic, percentage doesn't a lot of times have anything to do with it. If it's a ceramic, you can do really light ones and still block out a lot of heat. Ooh, it's here. I got a rolling glass board. I gotta get glass for it. And I got some rolling stands so you could put like a heat gun or something else on it.
Soon we'll be like a real tint shop.
One of these days.
Thank you.
Woo! Very clean. All right, let's go grab a quarter.
So that doesn't look like a glass board.
Where's there something else?
It's just these.
Oh. That's not a glass board. Is it? It's definitely from them.
Could be the accessory.
We're gonna have the stands, but yeah, where's the...
Maybe that comes up. Maybe that has to come free.
Maybe. Well, we got something. Do you preheat after on the outside? What? Wait, say that again? What point? Like post heat?
You see the scratches on the driver's side front door? On the side. Okay, yeah, there's just a couple of scratches before I put the film on. They're gonna stand out once I put tint on it. Scratches.
Ew. Do you do boats? No, not unless they're really straightforward. So if somebody called me with a Malibu, I'd 100% do it. All the other types of boats, eh. Oh, if a window's installed and I take a heat gun to a window, it's just for touch-up. There can be a little finger that needs heat. We two-stage. So there's usually a finger or small fold where we two-staged. Little heat there. And then it's gone. Nice patterns. It's a big squeegee. It's not average. big is all the rest? Heat gun's always on high. You just get them as hot as they get. You control the heat with speed and distance. Dang. Just getting into it. Anything important I should know? That's all important. Don't be afraid to fuck up. That's how you really learn. What did you spray before the slip? Oh, we're using... I should take off the label and, like, put it on the spray bottle.
There you go. Sticking outside the bun.
Ooh, I got a better idea. I don't love that. But there you go. What are you using? That's what we're using. Now what's in the white jug? Ah, God, I have no idea. There could be anything in there. All right, we gotta clean this off. This is a gross one. This probably wins dirtiest back window of the year for me. This one. Is that where it's gonna record? Imagine if the gel makes all the films go bad in 3 years. Yep, that wouldn't be good. That would really suck. I hope not. But it's a PPF / insulation gel that's claimed to be safe for window tint. So it's a pretty safe bet. If people are willing to put it on PPF outside, it's probably going to be okay. Film companies endorse it. It's probably going to be okay. Chocolate milk time. All right, let's get to... No, and one thing that makes me feel a lot better about most things is I took some Walmart film. I made a video, and I kept it on my car for a month. I took actual milk and use that in place of water. So I just took soapy milk and tinted a window. And you know what? That shit looked great. No mold, no haze. I think you could tint with a lot of things and it'd be fine. I just can't for sure say that it always will. I guess just make sure the film manufacturers allow it to be used. Yeah, that would be a good thing for sure. You don't want to install, you don't want to get a gotcha, right? So let's say I had a film failure. Well, was it the gel? Was it not the gel? Was it the film? It's like now all of a sudden everybody's pointing fingers at everybody. You just want to know that your film company is going to say, oh, no worries, we'll take care of it. Because that's what they're there for. That's what warranties are there for. It's not for them to claim it's a lifetime warranty and then you get stuck with a bill. They're supposed to cover issues. If you installed everything in accordance with how they said you should do it, and you should have nothing to worry about. So I have adhesive here. Take an adhesive remover, take a scrub pad, hit that specific area. Is there still tape here? Or is this just adhesive? Oh, it's still just adhesive. It's coming off. Almost there. On a trash bag method, do you cut it down to one single layer? Yeah, you just need a trash bag in the way. So people will cut it open to fan it out rather than using two trash bags. If we use Geo we purchased from you and you install on the customer's car, does GeoShield also cover it? Yes, they do. It's GeoShield's film. So, for example, I go to Best Buy. I buy an iPhone. 6 months later, iPhone not working so well. I can take it back to Best Buy, and they'll help me sometimes take care of the issue through a service partnership, or I can walk into an Apple store with their product and go, iPhone broke, please help fix. And they will. So any product that you generally buy from a third-party seller or store, an authorized location, some will have good partnerships to help take care of issues, but a lot of times you can just go direct to manufacturer. Because it's manufacturer's product. Like if I go to Walmart and I buy a steamer, and that steamer has a warranty on it, but I'm outside of like Walmart's return window or whatever, they'll say contact manufacturer. Are you going to use Dotrix on the back window? Ooh, good question. I'll be honest, I've actually never used it on the Chargers. It's such a fine dot area that I honestly don't think Dotrix is going to help. How do they know it was actually that film on that car? So Geo's has warranty cards. And they send them out with a lot of rolls. Not with everything, but you can also get them. This, I think, is their most recent version. They have aftercare instructions and these cards. So after a tint job, you can register that car, roll number, everything under their warranty thing. What's the deal with people using dryer sheets? What do you mean? I use dryer sheets. Look at how clean. Do you see how sparkly clean, how we can actually see through this window? Speaking of dryer sheet, it's literally what we're going to put on it. See, glass cleans up pretty quickly. Even really scuzzy looking glass. It's not that bad. If it's been tinted, yeah, it's going to be pretty bad. What's your favorite car to tint if you're doing every window? I'm like Malibu. I just had a Taurus the other day. Fantastic. So straightforward. Love them.
What did Durango yesterday?
Durango is really straightforward too. Even less quarter windows on that one. Like they don't put quarters on the doors. That Durango is pretty great.
Yeah. So going 2 weeks ago,
I love, yeah, those types of days are awesome. It keeps the car static free. It makes it smell fresh. And it keeps the glass softer.
keeps it from wrinkling.
It keeps it from wrinkling. Look at how many fucking back window options.
Jeez.
That's more than most windshield options.
More than most like truck back window options.
What's the difference?
Slider and not slider. And
What's the difference? I don't see it changing at all between option 5 and option 6.
well, you have to wait until you put it on to see the difference. That's the point.
I wish there are no notes. I mean, I guess that's kind of hard to do too. Slightly bigger than a different one. Like, I don't know. But it would be good to know a little bit more. Okay, yep, we're all set to cut this. What makes a Malibu one of your favorites? It's easy. Just everything about it is just very easy. Plenty of room on the back window. Seals aren't super tight. I'm not worried about damaging anything. It's just the whole thing is just super easy. Like people feel the same way about like F-150s. It's just, you got a lot of room. Very easy, straightforward. No, it is static free. That's the point. This, on the other hand, this is easier to install. I'm not gonna bitch about that. It's just deep, and it's a Charger. So, oh my God, that's so far. I was like, hey, maybe I should prep this car ahead of time. And I'm like, nah, I'll just take my sweet time on this one. And now I get to cleaning a windshield. It does. It gives it a nice fresh linen smell. A customer yesterday was worried about their key getting dirty. I should have said, ma'am, we use Snuggles on your back window. If anything, it'll smell so fresh and so clean. Actually, yeah. They had like a nice white and pink case, and they're like, well, mechanic shops. I was like, this is not a mechanic shop. I put their key in a plastic bag, though. I was like, look at this. It's not going to get dirty. Seat covers, plastic bag. They get the good treatment. What's the fastest you've done a full tint job? So hand cutting everything, I would have situations at other shops I used to work for. It would be, they close at 6 o'clock. Somebody walks in at like 5 o'clock with a full car, not windshield. But I would get that car done before 6. But they would walk in and they still got to go over shades. I still got to put it in, wipe down windows. But probably like 50 minutes. I generally didn't get faster than that.
It's hard to go much faster than that.
Yeah, and that was everything. That was literally like car comes into the bay, wipe down, various states. I wasn't covering door panels. I wasn't taping seals. I just then grab my film, spray it, start cutting, do everything. How long did it take you to get that fast? Quite a few years, and being put under dumb amounts of pressure that I don't put myself under personally. I don't think I would have been near as fast if I'm left to like my own. Because I like to leave time in between. Well, not necessarily time in between appointments, but just like enough time that I know things are going to get done between like X amount of time frame. It's just like PTSD from, working for other shops for numbers of years. And it's just how many cars can we get them to do in a day? I'm over that. But I think one of the best things that helped me get faster was being put under that kind of pressure. And so I would say, I don't have time to get that done. And they would say, well, you have to. And then arguing, yelling, anger. And then you get shit done. But that didn't come without compromises. So there was just stuff that was mediocre that was still going out. And it's a game of, will the customer care? Because they didn't give me time to care. And that's the unfortunate bit about a lot of places too, is like, you can always have a good installer that cares in a shop that doesn't allow them to care. Between sales guys and owners, and it doesn't matter how many conversations that you have with people, they'll still put you under the same type of shit, which is why I have my own place now. Or else I'd probably still be at like my dad's shop. It just sucked after a while. Learned a lot. Appreciate it. But it was the same shit literally every week. Same problems. They sell a product called Dry Shrink Prep, but I've had shitty results on hot days. Yeah, it works. So there's just certain products that work better on certain days and also with certain films. This is what I've realized about dryer sheets, about soap. Not everything is good for everything all the time. So there's people that'll swear by certain soaps that are perfectly fine, but that's fine for what they use. So I used baby shampoo for a very long time. I loved it. No issues. And then I used Avery Dennison. No issues. And then they came out with a film called NR. And then it was very sticky. And it didn't matter how much baby shampoo I added. It was just very sticky. Angel with the 5. Thank you. What up, Doe? How you doing? How much is the gel? It's like $35 for a gallon. I just gotta go through and scrape this whole thing. I feel like I want to do half of this, go do the back window, and then do the other half. Where do we send it down now? TikTok has some stuff. I don't really understand theirs, but YT also has a thing too. But you can just go to the store and buy some tools. I appreciate that. And just people hanging out. It's the biggest hurdle, opening your own tint shop. Just getting people. Staying busy. So I opened up this place and I still tinted elsewhere. So I was mobile for a number of years. And by mobile, I mean I had a few accounts and I would go to those places and tint. I would go to non-tint shops. So there's an auto glass place that wasn't too far from me. I would go there 2 days a week. Tint all day for them. And then I had another account that kind of shut down during COVID. A Doge charger. I find myself, what? I always have a different time. Whenever I find myself, I always have a different time. Like some take you longer than others. This windshield just has chunks on it. Oh, I always have a difficult time. Yeah, we're going to go over the back window and the windshield. On the doors, don't cut your side edges as long. Don't cut the bottoms too long. Don't cut the side edges too long. They're tighter on the side, but they're not that bad. But if you just keep the edges a little tighter, you hide all your gaps. You have an easier time tinting them. I'm saving those chunks for later. Ew. Look, that's from the sticker that was baking there for a long time. I can see the lettering. You switch soaps? No, I use the same tint slip. Look at those. You see those? Ew, those are those chunks. You hungry? This one's done. There's been a few occasions where I've cleaned around this area and I still somehow had the lettering fused to the window. And then when I tinted it, you could still see the lettering of the oil change sticker. Is it better to have your car tinted if your interior has been stripped, or is it being redone? Does it make a job easier with clothing? What? Oh, if the interior has been stripped. Like all the seats and stuff? I mean, it helps to have, if you have the door panels off, yes, in some regard, it definitely makes it easier on the installer, if that's what you mean. Biggest thing is stuff around the doors. You want to grab this side real quick? I'd toss it, but I know I'm going to fuck it up. Neat. Do you charge more for clients with dirty cars? There's a point where you absolutely should probably do something. But I find just charging a certain amount mitigates most of that. Like, a lot of problems go away when you charge above a certain price point. You're like, wow, why are these cars so dirty? Don't people care? Why are they so picky? Unfortunately, the less you charge, the more issues you can have. It's really unfortunate because you would think that people might be more understanding if you only charge like $100 for a car. You can have some of the worst clients at charging for only $100. We did a Taurus on stream, and I'll tell you, I have 0 customers message me about this. We did the Taurus a couple weeks ago. And I did it for a little bit less. He had like the side dented in and stuff. And I had no problem with any of that. And then he messaged us and like, hey, what are all these scratches in the window? There's all these like fine line scratches that go up and down. And it was one of those messages where it's like, I don't think this was here before. And it's like, dude, it absolutely was there before. All right, so we're shrinking the back window on this charger, one thing that's gonna help is I'm lightly pulling on the film to just flatten it out. And just moving the heat back and forth, and that's getting it more even heat distribution so you can kind of shrink over a farther surface more smoothly. Because we still have to do the same thing. We still need to watch for the film to make this ripple pattern. So you see how this is kind of doing it, but I got a lot of vertical ripples here. See the difference there? We kind of have some vertical fingers, we have some horizontal lines, but here we have some really clear, defined horizontal lines. So I need to shrink this area a little bit more. Dog hair cars do suck. But you can throw towels over most things dog hair. But you can still have a lot of hairs on like the pillars and stuff. One hair randomly still seems to find its way in a window and you're never sure how. All right, so this bottom area is just about as curved as the top, if not more, from where we had it. And they don't exactly give you a ton of space past the bottom, but I keep my heat moving. I watch for this pattern. If I don't see it, I add a little more heat until I do. And I do not card unless I see that pattern. It's really important. If I see fingers, a lot of people will see this, and they'll card straight into where they haven't shrunk yet. So right like that. Another thing is that, okay, we carded that, and now we have this like sharper, it's a little swoop, but a little sharper one here. Lift up the side, try and take that out on the side a little bit, like stretch it out this way a little bit more, and then continue. Always easier if you can lift it a little bit. What tool would you compare to a 10 millimeter socket? Isn't always getting lost. So easy for your knife to go missing. I would keep it in my tool belt and pull cars in and out. And it's so easy for it to just slide out in between the seat. Jump in the next car, pull it in. Then you go to cut something, customer drives away. You're like, fuck, they just got my knife and didn't even realize it. I would always keep a few spares of those. So, see how much longer this is taking to shrink? And I'm not trying to hold my heat. I got it within like 2 or 3 inches, but I'm constantly moving it. Heating up an area, letting that shrink down a little bit, moving somewhere else, and I'm just waiting till I see those lines. And then I can push it down. There's definitely some cars sitting with some knives and they have absolutely no idea that they're in their car. For sure. Do you cut them, shrink, then shrink? Do you cut then shrink, or shrink then cut? Shrink first, then cut it. So you rough cut it. You want to give yourself a little bit of extra wiggle room around the edges. So this back window, up to a certain point, maybe like right in here, it goes from being like a normal back window and shrinking down fairly quickly. But then that curve just continues. So then this section, it just takes longer. I'm not gonna move quite as fast as the rest of it. So you just take your time, keep the heat moving. The more that you can, so this is a good example here. See how this is flatter to the window and then this curves up and this is protruding off the window. The more I can flatten this out when I go to heat it, the more even this entire section is then getting heated, which really means that no one spot is gonna get blasted with heat and start to pinch up. But it needs a lot of heat in order to shrink. But a quick blast of too much heat is then gonna fry it. You just gotta keep moving it around, looking for those spots that look like they're gonna pinch up and flatten them out. And now you see how this is actually all kind of floating nice and evenly. That really helps. Because if it all wants to flatten out, well, then I'll just let it do it. Still waiting to see that pattern in a lot of spots. This is where I accidentally burned the tint up. And this is where you're gonna start to see a lot more differences between film. When you really start pushing films towards their limits, so there are films that are just more heat sensitive. Some you'll get to a point where it's like, hey, it looked like I gave it the same amount of heat, but it fried. Some films just can't take it. And some films will just shrink faster. But I don't notice a lot of differences between certain films just by shrinking like the middle portion that I did or your average back window. It's like there'll be small differences for an average tinner that aren't really gonna matter. But when we get into these more edge case ones, Corvettes, Bugs, chargers. It's like when you really start heating it up at the very edges, can it take it? Does it shrivel? I mean, that doesn't even mean if it's a bad film. It just means like that film is just going to be harder to shrink. So this window is just generally curved in all directions a little bit, so you get these big swoops forming. So I still want to stretch it out over the window. So all this is actually not a finger area that I have to shrink and just push up. We're going to stretch this out this way. See how much that flattened out? I have trouble pole shrinking. Might be because I pull too much. I didn't understand pole shrinking for a long time. I thought people were pulling super hard. It's the gentle tug is all it is. Very... all you're doing is flattening out the film. You're not pulling it tight. Like, very hard. Here's another way. This freaks me out. This is still why I peel back windows this way. We plotter cut this one. So I left everything attached, shrunk it, because that makes it easier. Otherwise, the liner shrivels up really fast. But I have seen shops, they'll just take, when they're going to install it, they'll peel everything together and it freaks me out. So they'll take the edge and the liner together and just peel the frame off. But if your plotter isn't dialed in perfectly, you can just rip your pattern. Have a good one. Okay, this one's all shrunk, ready to install. We're gonna start the car when we go to install this one too. The defrosters on this one are still super weird. So we scrubbed the inside. We didn't take a clay bar to it yet. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna clay bar it, turn on the defrosters, and we're gonna leave the defrosters on during the install. Ooh, I actually get to try one of these during my install. What else do we need? The Slim Slam? Slim Slam, thank you, ma'am. This is one of the better chargers. I get lots of space. Some of them don't have that space. Okay, let's turn this on. So we're gonna turn on our rear defroster. Man, I used to have this disclaimer like every every year at some point. I think we skipped over the last year or two. I just haven't had that many chargers. Chargers have really thick defroster lines. They can let air back in, and you'll get these little shrink lines, peanuts, bananas, fruit, whatever you want to call them. But people have a tendency, I didn't understand this either, people have a tendency to sometimes just push the film down early. So they didn't completely shrink it evenly. And that'll add to the problem. So what we're gonna do first is just take a clay bar, go over the defroster lines because that can help clean these lines up even more and help some film stick better to them. Ew, because you see that? I took a scrub pad to it first. It was gross. Yucky. That's just from one side. How do you clean your clay bar? Run it under hot water and just mash it around a lot. How come you don't wear gloves? I don't like how they feel. Make my hands sweat. But yeah, you can use a synthetic clay bar for a long time. Ew, this is like one of the best examples. One of the worst looking ones. It's cold, it's cold, it's cold, it's cold, 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 cold. I don't like waiting for hot water. It's such a waste. But I'll run it under warm water. It'll soften up. It's a synthetic clay, so it'll soften up. And I'll just keep stretching it and mashing it. See? That looks better. Better. Looking better. That's definitely a lot less than it was. Ooh, gel. We should go grab the gel. Where is it? What bottle is it? Oh, it's this! It's this shit with the premium applied label. They should sell bottles this big of it. Actually, I'm not sure why they don't yet. how gross this back window was? It's gonna be so clean. It's gonna be cleaner than it ever been. We're gonna seal it away with some 15. What GoPro do you use? I use an iPhone 15 Pro. Actually, I don't know. I think it's just a 15. I don't even think it... No, it's not the Pro. GoPros suck. If you do any action cam, get the Osmo. Osmos are really good. DJI Osmo. GoPros, they overheat now. They've like overheated for like the past 4 or 5 generations. Sad. All right, so we peel it and pick this whole thing up. And let it float. Like this. Look at that. That brake light cutout's perfect for you guys. Get a front row seat to Frankensteining. Better view than I do. We're gonna fan this out. Car is on. The defroster lines are warm. We just Frankenstein it like normal. You know what? Do that. Where my gel? Let's make sure we're getting into the dots. I just want to see how this ends up looking. Like that. Now we'll seal it up. Nice pattern. Good job, core. Oh, fuck. Spoke too soon. Actually, it's not the pattern, it's placement. There we go. All my edges are covered. Now we're gonna use this. Alright, where is it? Alright, I guess we're gonna use this the whole time. So we got most of the air pushed out, and then for my hard pass, I go directly over all the defroster lines. You don't want to try and take your squeegee and just go straight down. Not on these lines. You'll almost for sure start dragging air at some point. A little bit is fine, especially where it's really fresh. But don't just go from like the middle. Let's check it out. Defroster lines are still on. So, because the back glass is warm, you want to make sure very quickly that you got everything that you should push out. Thought on the side edges too. If you gel them, hopefully it'll stop air from just quickly feeding back in and keep everything sealed down a little bit better. You might have less of a peanut issue on this. Shit. Where's my... It's so fun. So fun jumping into a car and really realizing you forgot something. Have you ever tinted a third brake light area on these? Honestly, no. On the early ones, when the brake light area was really stupid. I don't think I've ever had a customer ask. So, if it looks like it belongs, I leave it. So we have a nice border around it that fits in with everything. So anytime I run into that, I just go around a brake light. But if I had just a wide opening, like on a BMW or an Audi, then I'll take care of those. I'll cover those up. Anyway, that doesn't look like it belongs. Got a little finger in a couple spots right at the very bottom. Really happy with this one. I don't have anything popping up on defroster lines. Everything turned out super clean. Oh yeah. Nice. Yep, 1, tiny finger. I'm gonna let that dry a little bit more. We'll heat it up and push it out. Look at that. Look at how clean. There's a bunch of little stuff stuck to the outside. I'll just point that out. These are all little like exterior, 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 exterior. Okay, so we gotta clean this side of the glass. Just look at that. Look at how gross. See how gross that is? It's not as bad as the back window. It's been cleaned at least once. We'll jump over to that side. We need this. Oh my God, my handle was right here the whole time? That's weird. Just want to say hello and thank you. Appreciate you. Thanks for stopping in. All right, where's my blade? I left it. Where did I leave it? Did I put it back? Oh no, I did one of those things. Where I set it down somewhere and then it goes poof. There it is. I thought I left it up here. I just couldn't see it. Ooh. Honda Pilot front quarter tips. Man, I'll be honest, I plotter cut them and I keep a lot of spares. Gel actually might help a little bit. Wedging a panel stick in the front seal area can help pry back a little bit of the pressure. It's very possible to tint them without removing, but it's not fun. Just need more at-bats with that one. What year? 23. No good. Is the stress worth the money? For some people, no, definitely not. It entirely depends on the person. Nothing that's super simple makes money. There's always work. If it's easy, other people will do it. Other people will catch up. And then make it not make the money that it used to. Oh, we're not plotter. Ah, shit. Can we? No, I don't want to. I don't want to do that. So the razor fits in the mini squeegee handle. They have an end for it. So if you order a quarter pro set, it comes with an optional end that you can swap out. One for a razor blade, one for the squeegees. I'm not super fond of the razor blade one, but I just wish there was a quicker way to swap out the razor blade is all. But I do like that it doesn't rust. What time is it? 1? Got about an hour. Pretty much right on schedule. What's our battery at? Ooh, battery's good. Yeah, I had a razor blade scraper handle. It had a quick way of swapping it out. But the whole thing would rust. And the angle was a little sharper than I'd like. But I haven't looked at them. I haven't looked at other ones in a while. Razor blade handles are too bulky. Yeah, that was another issue. So I guess it makes sense that there's screws holding this one in. But I basically just use it here and there for windshields, but I've been using it more than I thought I would lately anyways. It's just so easy to have sticker residue on a windshield that you don't notice. And I tint it, and then I get all pissy because I didn't notice it. Give me a faster way of cleaning a windshield though, like scraping the whole thing. I just need a wider scraper. That'd be really nice. Okay, so we're gonna do 35 on this shield. Coat the whole thing. We gotta let it dry now. Okay, Insta-Gel, got it. Let's put our clay bar back. This we can hang on to, this we can put back. Definitely gonna use this on the windshield. belt that goes there. But inside is pretty much all clean. I'm still gonna wipe my hand over it right before I go to install it. Get some windshield tools. Maybe throw one more seat cover over the center here. The one from the back seat. That's what I want. Dude, I love this. Okay, it's almost dry. Almost dry. I'm gonna do something I typically don't do. I'm actually gonna go take a pee break. Like, for real. I usually just tough it out. Not today. I'm gonna let that dry. I'll be right back. Let me flip this around. Hang out there for a minute. Nice. You know what I'm gonna do? Guys, I'll be right back.